Hello boys and girls, this one's a quick coaching tip for you, and it's actually not mine. It comes from somebody who has come through the Street Fight Secrets channel to come here. Now, why would I give you coaching tips if you're not a coach? Because even if you're not a coach specifically, you might end up finding yourself one day in therapy or in a coaching situation. It's important for you to be the best client that you can possibly be. If you want to get the most out of coaching and the most out of therapy, you should understand what's going on, and you should be as compliant as possible in relieving yourself of pain and suffering as you possibly can, right? And there are certain mental traps that the ego will throw up. That the ego will throw up that stop you from getting better, because the ego doesn't want change. It wants you to stay exactly as you are, and these will come out of your unconscious, and you don't want that. You want to get the most out of your session. I came up with a term that I call ping-ponging, which is what happens in traditional counseling models, whereby I offer a solution to the client, and the client gives me the client pings it back with the reason why that solution won't work. I have really low self-esteem because I'm overweight. Have you considered taking up some exercise? I can't exercise, my ankle hurts. Have you considered doing a kind of exercise that doesn't put pressure on your ankle? No, I can't do any exercise that doesn't put pressure on my ankle because I lost the free weights that I used to have in the gym garage because my evil husband took them away from me like he took everything else in my life. And so it goes on, and you ping pong, and it's actually a very easy way for the client to basically troll the session. Who does it hurt? Well, the therapist and the coach actually gets paid regardless, but the client is not making any progress. And it's a very, very easy way of just ping-ponging back an idea so that you don't have to make any changes. It's an egoic trap. And when I use the term ego here, I'm talking about that part of you that basically just wants everything to stay the same, that is addicted to your pain and addicted to your suffering. And that is something that's an enemy that we need to overcome, right? So, this chap called Martin Saunders says that he has a strategy for overcoming ping-ponging that he doesn't use for therapy, but he's had to use it in business and other contexts. And he says when somebody starts to ping-pong in a business consultation, what he does is he has a certain process, and it runs like this. He asks a question. So I say to my client, the client says to me, I have low self-esteem because I'm overweight. I say, well, have you considered taking up some form of exercise? You live by the woods here, you could take a brisk walk through the woods, great cardiovascular exercise, get you some fresh air, get you out in the open. No, I can't because my ankle hurts. And what he suggests you ask is that the only problem? And are you saying that if we took away that problem and we solved that problem, then you could start exercising and losing weight? So if we took away your ankle pain, would that be it? Great, fantastic, now we can just go out and start training. And then the client will come back with something else. The client will say, no, that's not the only thing that is in the way. The other thing that is in the way is I have eczema and I'm self-conscious about it, and I don't want to go and train outside because of my whatever. People will come up with reasons. So what he suggests is that you actually identify that and say, okay, are you saying that is the only limitation and the only barrier between you and success is this one thing, the fact that you have a sore ankle, or whatever it happens to be in this silly example I'm using? It's a sore ankle. Silly example, it's a real world thing. That's a real world conversation that I had. And one of the conversations that I had that led me to give up counselling when I used to work as a counsellor when I was about 24, 25, so that's like 10 years ago now, because I couldn't stand the ping-ponging. I was like, people are presenting the case and arguing the case for their own suffering. This is madness. And I couldn't deal with it. Now there are better ways of getting around this kind of thing, but ping-ponging is still something that comes up in therapy. It's still something you have to deal with. So you identify what they're actually saying and get them to commit to it. Are you saying that the one thing that stands between you and success is this one thing? No, there is another thing. And then what Martin has helpfully suggested is if you keep pushing, the last hurdle of bullshit that they throw up is the biggest hurdle, and that'll be the real reason why they don't want to do whatever it is. Now, pushing is not a term that we ever were allowed to use in the style of counselling I used to do was non-directive, person-centered counselling, and we weren't supposed to direct people, we weren't supposed to intervene, we were supposed to just let them sort of speak, and through them talking through their own problems and reflecting back and saying, well, how does that make you feel? The idea is that person gets better. Now, I've addressed this on other videos before, the difference between NLP and CBT as a therapeutic model. If just talking things through rationally works for your client, your client ain't in that much trouble. Not really. Not really. They're pretty much already there. And that can be a pure, easygoing, that's a great client. That's an easy life coaching session. There ain't that many clients out there like that though. Also for you guys who are not coaches, not therapists, as I say, just be aware in your daily life when you're talking to people, arguing with people, discussing things with people, ping-ponging will come up. And not only that, but if you do get therapy and you do get coaching and you see yourself and hear yourself ping-ponging, just be honest. So I'll leave you with this. I explicitly as a coach say to my customers, my clients regularly, be honest. Commit to honesty like you've never committed to it before in your life. Don't try and impress me with cleverness. Don't try and impress me with the stuff that you already know about psychology and about therapy and all the rest of it. All of that is a barrier. All of that is the ego throwing up blocks to you actually making a change. It's not that you don't want to get better, it's that you don't want to change. And it's also that you're slightly, possibly a little bit addicted to the pain that you're in. So notice it in yourself, don't ping pong. And if you do find somebody trying to ping pong with you and give you all the reasons why they can't make a change, use this strategy. I think it's an excellent strategy, is to just say, hey, look, what are we doing here? What's the real reason behind why you don't want to do this? Don't give me these silly excuses. What's the core? What's the main thing that you really don't want to do about this? And then we can get to work on that. In the example of somebody who doesn't want to work out, there are always options. There are always, whatever they need, there is always an option. And that's another core belief that I use in my coaching. That's a Spartan life coach, value, if you like. One is absolute honesty. Push the client to be as honest as possible. You as a coach be as honest as possible. But also encourage them to think in terms of solutions. There is always a solution. There's a quote from the military general Hannibal. We will either find a way or we will fucking make one. He didn't say fucking make one. He just said we'll make one. Okay. Those are my tips for people who are ping-ponging in therapy, and that's it for now. We're going to have another couple of these over the next few days. Thanks very much for your time and your attention, and I will speak to you soon. Oh, by the way, the Spartan Life Coach is back up, and we've got an offer on coaching at the moment. If you want to go there and check it out and take advantage of that, it's www.spartanlifecoach.com. Speak to you soon.